Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a question that Rahaf asked, which is what's my go-to strategy for staying motivated during challenging times? Staying motivated during challenging times. Thank you for the question, Rahaf. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, but this is a really important one. The reason it's important is because it's easy to be motivated when things are going your way. When you're winning, when things are going well, when you have no complaints, when things be seems to be functioning according to a specific process that you've laid out specifically, and it's kind of making sense or you're seeing progress. But it's more difficult to stay motivated during challenging times. Okay. So challenging times typically will come from situations that we don't have control over exactly, right? That's what people typically mean when they say challenging times. So challenging times meaning you just ended a relationship. Let's say, for example, you got broken up with, or you just lost your job, or somebody just died. So these are things that you don't that happen in life that you don't necessarily have direct control over. So in these particular scenarios, and from my personal experience, when I went homeless and I was sleeping in my car and I had nothing and I had to figure a way out, is you always want to have one or two things that you're doing that are fundamentally good for you and solid, that will basically carry you through, that will translate into different areas of your life. So specifically, what they should be for everybody is something to do with your physicality, with you physically, and with you mentally. Because challenging times, that could actually be involved in some kind of medical diagnosis. So it doesn't matter what it is. So you have to think to yourself, what are one or two things that I can do for myself physically and mentally that will help me keep me focused and keep me on track, at least in that domain? Because if you're keeping yourself solid in that domain, remember that domain, which is basically linking your body with your mind, that's basically you. So you're bringing yourself to those challenging times. So as long as you're keeping a general semblance of order with what you're doing on a very fundamental basic level, then you'll be fine, right? The last thing that you want to do and the things that you want to avoid are when you stop exercising, you stop eating healthy, you start doing drugs, you don't take care of your mind, you basically you let everything deteriorate. You don't get dressed in the morning, you stop brushing your teeth. Like, you don't want to get to the point where you just stop everything, right? Because that situation, when that happens and you allow yourself to get to that, the way out typically is to, number one, you can get some kind of like an insight, external insight, or an internal insight. But oftentimes, what will typically happen is the pain of where you are is greater than the pain of changing. So you're getting leverage on yourself by allowing yourself to go through pain. It doesn't mean to intentionally put yourself through pain usually, but oftentimes, especially if you're sitting on the fence, creating that little bit more leverage where you're going to put a little bit more pressure on yourself to get yourself to act, to do something, is probably going to be the advisable choice, right? And to take this future vision that you see for yourself and to really map it out, so that way you can have something that you want to move towards and something that you're moving away from. So, as far as my go-to strategy for staying motivated during challenging times, it fundamentally comes down to fitness. So, working out doesn't matter, because here's the thing: is when I was homeless and I was sleeping in my car, you don't need a home to work out, right? So I was going to the park, I was going by the bench, and I was doing push-ups. I had some bands that I had bought from Amazon or whatever, and this was, before I went homeless. But you don't even need that, right? You could do push-ups, you could do squats, you could run, you could do pull-ups, right? You can do things that are good for your body, right? To basically build your body, you're building your mind, you're helping yourself release chemicals that are good for you hormonally, they're good for your focus. The endorphins are being released, so you're feeling good simultaneously. It doesn't mean that your life is going to change, but at least you can tell yourself that at the bare minimum, you're keeping yourself solid physically. That's also having a mental effect. But also, what I was doing when I was in that position is I was recording memos. So I was noting to myself exactly how I was feeling, what was going on, how my day went, and basically speaking everything that was on my mind. Because what happens is, during challenging times, oftentimes we will separate ourselves from other people. We may have other people supporting us, but sometimes they may not be completely We may not let them in completely because we just want to be able to process whatever it is that we're processing because we're going through a hard time. So it's important for you to be able to trust yourself and to love yourself and connect with yourself, because remember, everywhere you go, there you are. So you may be in a position where you lose everything, right? You lose all of your possessions, you lose all of your friends, you lose all of your family, and you're basically the last person standing and there's nobody else and it's just you. So you want to make sure that the you that's standing is the strongest you possible. How? Strongest body, strongest mind. Strong body, strong mind, right? So in challenging times, when things are going wrong, you don't have access to resources. Say, for example, you have no phone, maybe you have no computer, you don't have access to anything. The most important thing is to keep your body in good physical condition, or at least to work your body, to exercise, and also to work your mind as well. So technically, you don't even need a phone to do the memos. When I was doing my memos, is that you could literally talk to yourself out loud. And sometimes I'll talk to myself out loud, because remember that human beings, we actually think properly by speaking, by communicating. That's one of the reasons why communication was actually developed. So what you want to do is externalize everything that you're thinking and you're feeling, because if you keep that all in your head, you can't actually keep it organized. We're visual beings, right? So what happens is when you're speaking, everything that I'm saying, I could have never thought the last 5 or 10 minutes or however long I've been speaking. I couldn't have actually thought that in my brain. I have to speak that. I have to speak it. And as I'm speaking, I'm basically creating a storyboard in my mind of what I'm saying and linking everything together, right? So it's basically a story. So you're organizing your thoughts this way. So the best thing that you can do in that particular situation is, if you have a pen, if you have some paper, you're writing journals. If you have a phone, you're recording memos. If you have nothing, you're speaking to yourself out loud, and you're really coaching yourself, and you're developing good self-talk, and really understanding that the fundamental core of how you need to speak to yourself is with encouragement and with compassion. Encouragement and compassion, and basically that is subsumed by love, right? So that basically is love. But you want to be able to do that, because remember that you need to be able to self-parent yourself. It's very often the case that you're going to find yourself in situations where nobody's going to be able to support you, and you have to be able to coach yourself. So you want to create that internal dialogue, so you're basically on your own side, right? You're on your own team, and you're strong and you're solid. It's like you're your own father, or you're your own mother. If you see my previous videos, you'll know specifically that sometimes a strategy I'll talk about, which is that developing a self-talk that say, hey man, like, you got this. I'm here to support you. I'm here to, love you and care about you. I understand you're going through a hard time, but it's okay. You just got to process everything that you need to process. And I'm here for you for guidance, right? Now, if you believe in God, again, you can establish a relationship with God, or your creator, or the source of everything, the universe, whatever you want to call it. But assuming that you don't, you really want to create a powerful internal dialogue that's fundamentally based off of love, encouragement, and what was the other thing that I said? And compassion, right? Love, encouragement, and compassion. Because you can love yourself. Because the thing is that the reason those three things are so important is because you may be loving and compassionate, but you may not be able to, you may not use self-talk to move yourself forward. That's where the encouragement part, right? Encourage, to infuse with courage, with bravery, with boldness, right? Because that allows you to move forward. But you can't have the encouragement without the love, because then it's cold. Then it's very unlikely that you're going to actually follow through. And you can't have either of those without compassion, because then, first of all, you can't be compassionate without being loving simultaneously. But the love is something that's deep, because compassion is understanding, right? It's really understanding. Love is more than that. Love is basically total unity, total integration, total connectedness, and total expansion. And so when you take that as your core, and then you're encouraging yourself, and you're compassionate as you're moving forward, because you will make mistakes and you will fail. Just remember that you will make mistakes all the time forever, and you will fail basically forever, right? So that's why you want to create that positive internal self-talk, so that way no matter what's going on, you can speak to yourself kindly, compassionately, but with strong, encouraging, motivating words to keep yourself moving forward. Okay, so those are the two things that I recommend. So keeping a strong body, so exercise. There's always some form of exercise that we can all do. And then exercising your mind via journals, via meditation, via memos, and having positive self-talk. So during the challenging times, that's what you need to be doing. And also, Rahaf, I hope, again, I'm saying your name correctly, is remember that Noah built his ark when there was no flood. See what I'm saying? So try your best. Now you can do this when times are challenging, but try your best when times are peaceful to develop all of these habits. That way, when the so-called flood comes, you're actually going to be prepared and you're going to have your ark built, right? Your metaphorical ark is going to be built, and you're going to be able to ride the waves and not have them affect you to the point where you are subsumed by the waves and you drown, right? Because you haven't done anything to build your character, to build your body, to build your mind to a degree where you can actually sustain the pain and the suffering that might come with life, which inevitably will probably come at some point. So, hope that was helpful for you, for everybody as well. And I really appreciate the question. If you like the video, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel. And good news, I actually launched the school community. So what we're going to be doing is ignore what I said yesterday about the Zoom call on Wednesday, because that doesn't make any sense. So you're going to see from now on, and I'm going to say this every single video. There's a link in my bio to the school community. It is free, right? So click on the link, and in that community, that's where I'm going to be hosting the group calls. So we're going to be doing 3 calls per week. One is going to be a Q&A session. One is going to be like a live workshop with a meditation. Again, with me, we're going to be live together on these calls. And then I think we're also going to do a call where we're going to be doing a co-working session where everybody's mics are muted and we're all working together. So if you feel like you need to do something, but you're having trouble getting motivated because you're kind of isolated, or there's nobody who's going to work with you or whatever, I'm going to have a call a week where it's going to be designated to only co-working. So go there. You can see my calendar. The link is going to be in the calendar in school. So I encourage you to join. Costs you nothing. And there's already, I think, like 15 people in there. So please join, like the super supportive community, amazing people. If you're there, if you want to be inspired, if you want to be motivated, if you want to learn how to do everything that I'm talking about, learn how to make money, learn how to be more persistent, more confident, more productive, more optimized, more process oriented. If you want to be able to do everything that you're hoping that you can achieve based off of like all the stuff that I've been talking about on my channel so far, almost 120 videos so far, then please go ahead and join. It's going to be super beneficial. There's a lot of accountability there as well. So we can all kind of keep each other going. So hope to see you in there. And that's it for me. I will see you again as usual tomorrow. And also the Zoom call, the group call is going to be at noon Eastern tomorrow, Tuesday, the 25th. So hope to see you there, and see you soon.